Both Alberta and Saskatchewan are lifting their bans on American-made alcohol imports. The bans were put in earlier this year at the onset of the trade war with the U.S. However, the move to lift the restrictions is now being made to help with more constructive trade negotiations. Both provinces are still encouraging customers to support local producers and that they should keep in mind that purchasing U.S. liquor will be subject to the federal government's 25% tariff on American-made products. I want to get some reaction to that news. Andrew Ferguson is the owner of Kensington Wine Market in Calgary. He joins me now. Good to speak with you. Were you surprised that there was this, that there's been this change in tone or decision making within your province?
Not entirely. I mean, it might surprise people in other parts of the country to know that in Alberta, we've never been prohibited from selling U.S. products over the course of the last few months. The importers have been prevented from bringing products in, and I think some of those have started to deplete. And I think this is a reaction to that and to some businesses that are worried about, their inventory levels moving forward. And I also don't think it's going to have a massive impact. Is the other reality.
And when you say this, what you mean is whatever stock you had, and we saw in other provinces, like Manitoba and British Columbia, we had workers going in and taking them or moving them from the shelves and I guess putting them back in a storage unit, and they weren't allowed. They were taken off the shelves, not an option to purchase them. But in Alberta, where you were allowed to sell through that stock. That's what you're explaining, yes?
Yeah, and I mean, all the retail out here is privately owned, so it's difficult to tell a business you can't sell an asset you've already paid for. And I think that's a little different math when you're a government-owned liquor distribution chain.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I when you say surprised, I was a little surprised that provinces would go their own on this, although I suppose that they sort of did in the beginning of it. But there was this messaging, sort of all on the same page of this, all on the same team. And now we have two provinces saying, for the good of trade negotiations, we're going to do this a little differently. Is it going to make a difference to your business?
I don't think so. And I think the main reason is that people have been avoiding American-made products like the plague. Our sales of U.S. wines are down about 80%. Our sales of bourbon, American whiskey, is down about 75%. And allowing us to purchase these products again at effectively a premium, as long as that is passed on to retailers and consumers, I don't know why people would pay more for something they're not, by and large, buying the way they used to right now.
Right. So you have the option now of bringing more in, but it's subject to, a 25% tariff, or, an import fee now as the result of the threats being made by the U.S., right? So that price to the consumer is, give me roughly what are people having to pay if they want to buy that U.S. booze?
But I think one of the interesting things here is, depending on the size of the business and the scale of the brand you're talking about, like small and medium-sized companies are likely to just not import anything until this gets resolved. If you're a really large brand, you might be able to eat the cost of that tariff in order to maintain your position in the market. So, I think different companies are going to respond to it in different ways. But the bottom line is, in talking to other store owners, most of them are seeing the same thing. Demand for American products is way down. They're not looking to substantially increase that. And most of us have actually decreased the volume of things we carry because that's the direction we're getting from our consumers.
So now that there's an opening, what do you think you're going to do in terms of importing U.S. alcohol?
I mean, we might selectively continue to carry specific things, but I don't think it changes anything from, Thursday last week, the day before this announcement was made. Our customers aren't coming in by and large. They're coming in and asking for wines that are not American. A lot of them are shifting to Canadian products. So we have taken a big chunk of our American wine section and given it over to Canadian wines. We've increased dramatically, especially from smaller Canadian producers, our selection of Canadian whiskeys, and consumers are responding to that. And I think for the time being, until this trade matter is resolved, I don't see us going back to stocking the volume of American products we have. And I think the more interesting thing is how long this drags on. Will some of these consumer trends change permanently? Will people could go back to buying American wines, or are they is that anger, that residual anger, going to still be there that people avoid them for a while in the future?
Andrew Ferguson, the owner of the Kensington Wine Market. I just have to tell you, years and years and years ago, lived in the Kensington neighborhood in Calgary, and I'm familiar with your wine shop. I'm very pleased to see that you're still in business. Good for you. Thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thanks, Sarah. Have a good night.